Hello students, welcome to tutorial session. This video pertains to 10th class science chapter electricity. Here are in all 15 questions. I am sure you must have sent all these answers. So please check your answers with this video. You can stop this video, pause this video, take it forward or backward as the case may be, because we are trying to give you all the answers which are there in these 15 questions. So let us start with answers one by one. Question number 1. What does an electric circuit mean? So it's very simple answer. Now electric circuit is a continuous and closed path made of conducting wires, and through these wires various current flows. Now in electric circuit you may have cell, ammeter, voltmeter, plug, key, etc. So this is all becomes a circuit. Next question is, on what factors does the resistance of a conductor depend? Well, there are three important factors. Number 1, resistivity of the material, then length of the conductor, and thirdly, equally important, is the cross-sectional area of the conductor. We move to our next question, question number 3. Judge the equivalent resistance when the following are connected in parallel. That is the resistance of 1 ohm and 10 raised to power 6 ohms. B, a resistance of 1 ohm, 10 raised to power 3 ohms and 10 raised to power 4 ohms. Now students, here equivalent resistance in parallel combination of resistors is always less than the least resistance of any resistor in the circuit. So whenever you find any such combination, here you will always find the overall resistance which will have will always be less than the one which is having the less resistance. So in the first case it is 1 and 10 raised to power 6. So 1 is the correct answer, 1 ohm. And in second case it is 1 ohm, 10 raised to power 3 and 10 raised to power 6 ohms. So again the minimum or the less value is 1. So in both the cases the equivalent resistance is less than 1 ohm. Now this question number 4. How can three resistors of resistances 2 ohm, 3 ohm and 6 ohm be connected to give a total resistance of A 4 ohm, B 1 ohm? So students, if you see the figure, now it's very clear that in the first case we have to join these two resistances, that is 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6, that is 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, and then it comes to RCD, and secondly is the second case. So please note it down carefully. Thank you. Next question. How is an ammeter connected in a circuit to measure current flowing through it? Quite straightforward answer, as we have studied. Now it is always connected in series. Now when we take ammeter is always connected in series in a circuit through which current is to be measured. So the correct answer here is that we put this ammeter in series. Next question. An electrical iron draws a current of 0.6 ampere when the voltage is 100 volt. So voltage is given, that is 100 volts. Calculate the amount of electric charge flowing through it in 1 hour. So here we know that Q is equal to I into T, where I is current given in amperes, of course, here 0.6 amperes, and then the voltage is also given 100 volts. We have to calculate the electric charge flowing through it in 1 hour. So 1 hour means, when you convert it into seconds, it comes out to be 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So it comes out to be 3600 seconds. So here we use a very simple formula, that Q is equal to I into T. I is given to us, that is 0.6 ampere, into T we have calculated in seconds. 1 hour is equal to 36 or 3600 seconds. So when you multiply these two, we get the electric charge in coulombs. So the value of Q is 2160 coulombs. Please note it down carefully. Question number 7. Work done in moving 5 coulomb charge across the ends of a conductor is 1000 joules. Remember, work is always given in joules, and of course charge in coulombs. So if the potential at the one end of the conductor is 10 volts, find the potential at the other end of this conductor. So basically here what we find that we have been given with the potential at one end, and second end you have to calculate. So it comes up with the concept of potential difference. So when we say potential difference, and potential difference is the difference between two potentials, that is two ends. So we can say that V is equal to VA minus VB. But as we understand, the formula for potential difference is V is equal to work done divided by charge moved, that is Q. So the work done in joules is 100 joules. So we write 100 joules here. And then divided by charge. Charge is 5 coulombs here. So divided by 5, it comes out to be 20 volts. So now here we find this value comes out to be 20 volts. Right? Subsequently, so now we know the V, potential difference. But as you are aware of, V is equal to the differences in two potentials, that is VA minus VB. Or if we just take it VA as here, so it comes out to be V plus VB, right? So calculate VA. So VA is equal to V. Already we have calculated the potential difference here. Here was 20 volts. So 20 plus 10 volts is already existing here. So 20 plus 10, it comes out to be 30 volts. So be very careful. There is a slight error in this answer. We have to put VA is not like this. So I'll just correct it and then you note down this for your purpose. So now you may note down that VA is equal to 20 plus 10 is equal to 30 volts. So we move to question number 8. Electric current flows through a metallic conductor from its one end A to other end B. So there are two ends given to you of a metallic conductor. One side is A and the second one is, of course, B. Which end of the conductor is at higher potential and why? Now, current always flows from a higher potential to a lower potential end of the conductor. So naturally, as current is flowing from A to other end B, it means that end A of the conductor is at a higher potential. Note it down carefully. Now question number 9. A given length of a wire is doubled. So doubled means that if original length was, let us say, L, then the second time it has doubled, so it becomes 2L. Right. A given length of a wire is doubled on itself and this process is repeated once again. By what factor does the resistance of the wire change? So here we find that length becomes 1/4 of the original length, because firstly it is doubled and then again this process is repeated. So the length which was earlier, let us say 1 centimeter, firstly it was doubled, so it became 2 centimeters, again doubled, so now it becomes 4 centimeters. So if you see the second length, since it has doubled, has grown 4 times, it has gone 4 times. So here we find, let us say L1 and L2 are two lengths. So L2 becomes 1/4 of L1. So length becomes 1/4 of the original length and area of cross section becomes 4 times that of original. Right? Because both are correlated. So A2 becomes 4 times and L2 is 1/4 LA. So by what factor does the resistance of the wire change? As we understand, the resistance is R2 by R1. It is a ratio. So this is R2 by R1. So it is equal to L2 by L1 into A1 by A2. So this comes out to be 1/4 and then it is A1 by A2. So you have to take A2 is equal to 4A1, but if we take A1, A1 is equal to A2 by 4. So this is A1 by A2 is equal to 1 by 4. So it comes out to be 1 by 16. So here R2 is equal to, let us take R1 this side. So it becomes R2 is equal to 1 by 16 into R1. So new resistance is 1/16th of the original resistance. Please note it down very carefully. Question number 10. A lamp draws a current of 0.5 ampere when it is connected to a 60 volt source. So 60 volt source is given to you, that is value of the potential difference. What is the resistance of the lamp? So you have to find out the resistance. So very straightforward answer here we get from Ohm's law. Ohm's law is equal to V is equal to IR, or I is equal to V by R, as we have written over here, right? So R becomes, R is equal to V by I, when you just readjust this formula. So V is given, V is 60 volts divided by amperes, I is given 0.5 ampere. So just calculate this and it comes out to be 120 ohms. Remember that the unit of resistance is ohm, so we write 120 ohm. Question number 11, a very simple question otherwise. A torch bulb is rated at 1.5 volts, 500 milliampere. Find its resistance. So you have to find the resistance. So quite a simple answer you will get here, that we'll use Ohm's law here. Ohm's law is I is equal to V by R, and you have to find out the resistance. So R becomes, R is equal to V by I. V is given to you, that is 1.5 volts, and I is given 500 milliamperes. So you have to convert this milliamperes into amperes. So for this conversion you will use 10 raised to power minus 3, so that milliamperes are converted into amperes, and subsequently this becomes 1.5 divided by 500 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So the resistance comes out to be 3 ohm. So as you know that the resistance is given in ohm, so the correct answer here, we get the answer, that is 3 ohms. So please note it down carefully. Question number 12. A resistance of an incandescent filament of a lamp is comparatively much more than that when it is at room temperature. Why? Now when we switch on the bulb, of course it is an incandescent state. Now the temperature of filament rises. So as the temperature increases, the resistance of conductor also increases. So what we find here is that resistance increases as compared to room temperature because of the increase in temperature. So please note down this question. Then question number 13. What is magnesium? Correction. Why is magnesium used for making standard resistors? Very simple, straightforward answer is magnesium, being an alloy, has a low temperature coefficient of resistance. So you have to you want to use a resistance which is having low temperature coefficient. So we use magnesium because it is not going to, you can say, burn or subsequently get affected as temperature increases. Then question number 14. Why closed path is required for the flow of current? So we have to have a closed path for, as we understand in a circuit. So answer is, it makes possible to move the electrons in a particular direction. So closed path is necessary for the flow of flow of current. So you must have the path closed. Question number 15. The radius of conducting wire is doubled. What will be the ratio of its new specific resistance to the old one? So if it remains same, that is 1:1, as it depends on the nature of material only. So as far as a specific resistance is concerned, that remains same, because as far as the nature of material is concerned, we have not changed the material. So naturally, there will not be any change in the resistance. So you can say that the resistance is same as the previous one. So it is 1:1. With this, we finish this assignment, tutorial assignment, students. You may just note down all these answers. You can replay the video, take it forward, take it as you want, so that subsequently you can learn all this. So best of luck. Thank you for your stay with me.